Yes guys, so as you can see, we are in Denia, where the first 25k of this 2-week clay Spanish futures block is going to be held. Now, I showed you my preparation in last week's video where we were in Mallorca, practicing and training ready for today, which I'm going to be showing you how my tournament went. A quick recap: since my injury, I played one British Tour event where I won my first round and then retired. Second event, I lost in the first round of qualies on the grass, which was quite unfortunate. And that brings us to today. I'm super pumped to show you guys how I got on. Hope you enjoyed the video. Match day started off with a proper breakfast, lots of protein, lots of carbs, and also a little bit of pear juice. That's good. Once we got to the club, it was about an hour before our match. They had 2 practice courts for most people, so we ended up going 4 per court. This is pretty common at the 25Ks and 15Ks. Here you can see me and Raf just striking some cross court, trying to find a rhythm on the clay surface. We also did some volleys, some smashes, and I also worked on my return and serve. And at the end, we even played some points just to get the feeling of how the courts were playing under the conditions, as we were both first match on. Right guys, so it's extremely hot, humid. I'm pretty much going to get fully changed before my match. Feeling pretty confident, feeling good. I think my mindset is just going to be try and hustle, keep in it no matter what the scoreline is. Even if I go like 3 love down, just make sure I'm focusing on what I want to try and achieve. I just enjoy it, you know. It's going to be my second match, kind of professional match back. I'm not expecting too much. Just trying to get as many matches under the belt as possible after coming back from an injury. But yeah, I'm feeling positive and looking forward to playing the match. It is hot though, it's really hot. Woo. So let's jump straight into the match at the first point. Now, the first few games are always about trying to find out what your opponent's strengths and weaknesses are, trying to find holes in their game that you can then exploit and try and win the match out of. First point here, you can see my opponent rips a forehand cross, and early on I had a little bit of a shaky start in this match, going down 1 love, 40 love with 3 break points down. I think in one of the first matches on the clay, it was very, very hot and humid, which meant that the balls were flying quite a lot, and my opponent does take the early break. And it did take me 1 or 2 service games to really feel the ball, see how the ball was moving, and you can see there mistiming 1 or 2 backhands, shanking the ball. That's always going to be common in kind of one of your first matches. I think as the match went on, I was striking the ball more cleanly. But as you can see here, the first opportunity at 30 all to maybe try and find a way of breaking back. And as you can see, I go 3 love down, 30 love down early on. So I haven't had a great start, a little bit slow early on. But I knew that once my forehand got firing, once I started moving my opponent, that I would be fine. It's all about confidence. I think my game relies on confidence quite a lot. So striking the backhand, striking the forehand, coming into the net. The more I can do that, the more I can hit winners like that, the more I'm going to be able to win points and be confident and consistent. Now, my opponent had a very, very strong serve. He was a big server. And when he made his serve, it was very difficult to do anything with it. He also had a very consistent second serve, which meant that I really had to make a lot of returns on the second serve, but also not leave it too short, otherwise I'd be down in the point. So that was the first break point I had come and gone. And as you can see here, he's forcing me into tough situations in his service game. The longer your own service games in a match like this on clay, where the conditions are very tough, it doesn't look like it on camera, but it was about 35, 36 degrees. And for me, with constant sunlight, I knew it was going to get really, really tough later on. So I was trying to conserve energy and try and get a break back early on. And that managed to go in, scrambling for the break back. And we're now at 3-2, 30 all, where I was beginning to find my stride, beginning to find my rhythm. And now it's all about, can I go ahead and take this first set? And this is another thing in tennis, the big momentum shifts that happen after being 3 love, 30 love down. I'm now 4-3 up on serve, but my opponent doesn't go away easily. And he's making it difficult for me here by coming into the net, playing smashes. I think I should maybe try and lob him with a bit more height. That's always something I've talked to my coaches about. I never lob with enough height. And watching the match back now, I can see that they give me the same information. And he does it perfectly. I go for the hot dog and I miss long.
Nearly, that would have been a highlight reel. Highlight reel moment right there. So I'm 2 break points down now on my serve. I managed to get away with that off a net call from him, and I'm back to juice now. That could prove to be a pivotal moment in this match as I save 2 break points and fight to take this game and go 5-3 up. And there it is, 5-3 from 3-love down. But my opponent's still keeping his momentum. He's still hanging in there. He was very strong mentally, this player. So I knew kind of that he wasn't going to go away and roll over like some of the other players I've played previously. So he made me serve it out for the first set, 5-4. And what a get from him. And like you can see, always fighting to try and make me play one extra ball and try and find a way back into this set. Here we have a set point. And I go up the line with the forehand and take the first set 6-4. And good turnaround and good momentum shift. I'm going through to the second set pretty fresh. Changed my top because it was super sweaty. I couldn't really move in it properly. And now I'm coming in confident with a lot of momentum. And I'm putting my smashes away, which is always good. And I race to a 30-love lead in his first service game. And that goes the top of the net tape. My opponent does get an early break, the same as the first set. I have a slow start. Watching this back now, I'm kind of thinking I need to take a bigger focus in the first few games of the set, really focusing on winning the first opening games, getting some games on the board. But here, unleashing with the forehand and getting the break back. And with a bit of luck, my opponent gets the break and goes 4-2 up in this second set. Now, I do feel like I've been robbed a little bit early on because I've had so many chances on his serve, but that's tennis. My opponent played really well, saving the break points. So from his perspective, he's done a good job, and that ball really kicked up. And now I'm in big trouble. I'm 5-2 down in this second set. But I'm never going to give up. I found a way of holding to go 5-3. And now can my opponent serve it out to take us to a match tiebreak? And after scrambling, my opponent takes us to a match tiebreak. Now it's all or nothing, 10 points to decide. At this point, we're 2 hours in. I'm pretty knackered in these conditions. I know I'm one to set. One of my opponents comes out strong, hitting a big forehand winner. And I know that his level has been raised throughout the second set. And he's going into this tiebreak with momentum. So I really need to try and hang on here. Every rally at this point was such a grind. I go 3-love down, but I've still got hope. I know that nothing's lost in a match tiebreak. Anything can happen. If I just hang in there, maybe there's a chance. And from there, we changed at 4-2. My opponent played 2 good points. I'm stuck 6-2 down in this match tiebreak. I get a smash on top of the net. He gets it back. Another smash, and he gets it back. I play a nonchalant drop shot, which wasn't good enough. My opponent gets there. I find myself 9-3 down in this tiebreak. It seemed to just slip away from me in this one. And at 9-4, my opponent hits a backhand line perfectly on the line. And that concludes my Denia 25k tournament. Yes, guys, so it's now a few days after the match. I needed a bit of time to process the loss, because for me it was a little bit frustrating. It was a match that I felt that I could have won. I was tantalizingly close. I thought I'd be able to break in the second set, but unfortunately it didn't go my way. I had some issues with the heat, and towards the tiebreak I was really beginning to make some unforced errors that were a bit uncharacteristic. I think just because my body was just shutting down. But I have to remind myself that it's the second tournament back after an injury, and I want to just take you guys back to when I played the first few matches of the season. I think it was I lost 4 or 5 right at the beginning of the journey, and British Tour events weren't even the level that I'm playing now. So I know it's going to take a little bit of time for me to kind of get back into my groove of winning matches, and to play more matches is going to be the biggest key in trying to better my performance. So I'm super pumped to play in Zativa next week. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are as well. And if you are, make sure that you smash that subscribe button. It really helps to support the channel, and it really means a lot to me to help me kind of continuing and keeping going with the series. I really want to get that. I'm really working hard. I'm really trying to get that ATP point as soon as possible, but I think it's going to take a few matches and a little bit of time to really find my groove again. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.